Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick run through of our camping hot water setup. So this is kind of something that we thought would be kind of cool to have, but I don't think we really anticipated how actually helpful it is. So basically what we went with is the Kick-Ass Instant Gas Hot Water System, and I've made up a pump as well, which I'll take you through in just a moment. As I said, basically we thought this would be a bit of a luxury and something that we might use every now and again, but actually we've used it on powered campsites with water service. We've used it free camping next to rivers, and it's turned out to be insanely helpful. So basically the way this works is when you turn the shower head on, assuming that you've got water running to the unit, it lights a pilot light and it'll start heating the water as it comes through, and it is pretty instant. So for example, we just started then on about 30 degrees because I'm recirculating some water here in this bucket, and we're already up to 53 degrees, which is pretty hot to the touch. You wouldn't actually shower in that, it's just pretty hot. So we use this both for showering the boys and for doing things like I'm doing here, which is just preparing washing up water. Now, the way it works on here is there's a summer and a winter mode. Quite frankly, I've never had it on the summer mode. And there's a maximum amount of gas, so the maximum amount of heating basically, and the water flow rate, so max and minimum. At the moment I've got it set about in the middle, but in winter where it's pretty cold and you're running cold water through it, the slower you run the water, the more chance the water has to heat up from the gas. So if you want it really hot in winter and you're running cold water source, then you want to have the flow rate down a bit so the water stays in contact with the gas a bit longer and you get more heat. So, as I said, just recirculating some water at the moment. You can either run this from a tap, or in the past what we've done is we've run the hose straight into the river, and so we've pulled water from the river with the pump straight into the hot water service, and it's basically been an unlimited hot water supply, which has been fantastic. So here, where we're camping at the moment, we're a little bit far away from the amenities, and so we haven't really got the luxury of a water service with a tap, and the river where we're staying at the moment is salt water, and I'm not all that keen on pumping salt water through the system. So we've just got a couple of buckets, one that we've used as a bath for the boys, and one that we're using for washing up. So all I'm doing is just running the hose from the bucket in through the pump, pumps the water back into the hot water system, and then heats it up. And basically the hotter the water gets in here, the hotter the water gets sucked in through the system, and it just heats it up to whatever temperature you want to wash your dishes in. So that's pretty cool. So when we looked at buying this, there was the obvious thing about if we weren't going to be camping where we could just run from a tap to the hot water system, we needed a pump. Now, we went with, there was a few other systems on the market, I think Jeweler or something like that is another brand that we looked at. Some of the reviews that I read were that the pump was about 6 litres a minute, and it was a bit lackluster, particularly if you're pulling water from a long way away. So we opted to go for a 12 litre a minute pump. Now this is a Kick-Ass pump. Now Kick-Ass did at the time, I think, sell a system like this where it was all set up in the box ready to go. However, when I went to order it, they either don't make them anymore or they weren't in stock. So I decided to make this one myself. So it's just literally a hard ABS plastic case, which I think something I got from Super Cheap Auto, and it's just plumbed in either side and then wired in with a little button on the side, and then I've wired a Anderson plug in here. So it keeps it nice and neat, keeps it nice and quiet, so you can't hear the pump, and it's a nice neat little system with an inlet and an outlet just here. So that's our pump setup, and it means that because everything's dry in here, I can keep a few spare fuses and all that kind of thing just sitting there. So that's our pump setup. So 12 litres a minute, and I can tell you that we've had, as I said, we've had it in a river quite a distance from the camp, and it pulls water in fine. So yeah, I found that's a really, really good size. It also means that if we're not using it for hot water and we're just using it to clean things, I can actually put a squirt nozzle, like a higher pressure nozzle on the other end of the hose, and you can do things like wash cars or wash baby seats, or yes, that's a bit of a game changer when you need to clean some things off. So yeah, that's a great little setup.